Welcome back to the Joe Show on 104.5 The Team ESPN Radio. Of course, Joe Show is brought to you by In It to Win It Productions, the Capital Region's premier video production company. We do it all, folks. Everything from sports recruiting videos to corporate videos, commercials, you name it. It is In It to Win It Productions. Just go to their website. It is In It, the number 2, Win It, Productions.com. And that last segment was a lot of fun. The whole Jordan and LeBron debate. Again, according to some of the emails and some of our callers, I'm old guy, even though I'm still in my 30s, who's trapped in the 80s and the 90s and is, just blinded by my sheer love for Michael Jordan. I just look at the facts. Again, LeBron is maybe the most gifted physical specimen the NBA has ever seen. 6'8", 260, a power forward's body. He's Karl Malone with, elite point guard skills. I don't necessarily know if we're going to see another one like him over the next 20 years, but let's let him finish his career before we start, claiming he's the greatest of all time. Remember, he still has probably a good 8 to 10 years left, but right now he only has one NBA title in a strike-shortened season. His career is not over just yet. And again, I'm one of those people who has no problem saying LeBron James in 10 years, if he has 5 or 6 NBA, he doesn't have to have as many titles as Jordan. Even if he has 4 or 5. But he's got 40,000 points and 10,000 assists and 10,000. I would be willing to bow down and say, you know what? LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. But we're not there yet. Jordan's career and his story, it's done. And the resume speaks for itself. 6 NBA titles, which, if you look at his career, he missed almost 5 full seasons between his first year in the league, which was the 84-85 season, and his last, which was 2002-2003. So he missed almost 5 full seasons, won 6 NBA titles. Chances are, if he didn't retire 2 times, 3 times, he would have probably won 7 or 8 titles, would have snagged another MVP or 2, and then maybe, just maybe, would have the all-time scoring record instead of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But again, when we talk about that debate, let's let LeBron finish his career, and then when it's done, let's compare complete resumes. I feel like that's truly the only way that we're going to get a fair gauge on this debate of who is truly better, Jordan or LeBron. All right, staying with the hoops theme now, and this is what's nice. We've got 2 Division I programs in our backyard, so let's talk a little college hoops locally. And the big story, of course, right now is how badly the Siena men's basketball program has played this year. Currently, they are 6-20. The last time they had such a bad record, about 6-7 years ago, Rob Lanier was the head coach. He ended up getting fired after that season. Literally, the second the final horn went off on that year, he was fired. They finished 6-25 that season. And the reason why I want to talk about this is, for me, in a weird, twisted way, it's personal. Not towards me, but towards somebody that I really admire as a person. And that's Siena's head coach, Mitch Bonagero. Now, I know in today's day and age, I'm supposed to have an unbiased opinion. Okay? I get that. And I get that there are a lot of other people on this particular topic, other shows locally, where they just get on the mic and they rant, "This guy sucks. Get rid of him. He's horrible. Fire him. He stinks." I am not the shock jock type. And whether that makes you think less of me as a radio show host, I don't know. I've had people say, you know what, sometimes Joe, you might be a little too soft. It's who I am. And so if you listen to this show and you enjoy it, you know that. I am honest, but I'm not going to get on my soapbox and ask for somebody to get axed or whacked or fired I will give you my opinion. If you ask me, hey, what do you think in regards to the Mitch Bonagero situation? I had somebody ask me the other day, what do you think will happen? Better yet, do you think he will be back next year? If you ask me that, do I think he will be back next year? No, I don't. And full disclosure, it pains me to say that. But in today's big boy Division I world, it's about results. It's why coaches in this profession make the money that they make. And even at this level, Mitch is doing well. And when you make good six figures, you're expected to produce. And the bottom line is they have not done that since the glory days, which were, sounds funny to say it that way, they were only a few years ago when they were, winning MAC championships left and right. With that being said, though, I will say this. Again, do I think he will be back? No, because I think at this point, when you have a program like this, you want support from boosters, fans, and they're not getting that right now. And you can't lose your alumni base, you can't lose your boosters, you can't lose your fan base. And I feel like it's getting ugly. But I'm going to say this about Mitch Bonagero. Not only is he a great person, he is a great basketball mind. So anybody who thinks he doesn't know anything about basketball, you haven't spent a single second with this guy. Because all you have to do is spend 5 minutes with him to understand his basketball acumen. I covered Siena basketball for 9 years. 6 of those, Mitch Bonagero was either the assistant under Fran McCaffery or the head coach. And I've talked to other coaches and other assistant coaches in this profession specifically about Mitch. And they've all said the same thing. He is one of the best basketball minds in college hoops. In fact, if you give him a video and you have him scout the next team that you're playing, he'll have that thing done and scouted and printed out and on your desk in about 2 hours. And it's unbelievable that the things he sees that others can't. He's one of the best in the business at doing that. He is a great basketball mind, but being a head coach today, you have to be able to do a number of other different things. And some of them have very little to do with actually coaching a basketball team. Mitch Bonagero, his first coaching job, he was the head coach at Fairfield, mid-'80s to early 90s, and it was very successful. But the game has changed so much since then. And there is a lot more expected of head coaches now than ever before. Mandatory media sessions during the week. And even though you meet with the media once a week, a lot of times they come around 3, 4, 5 times a week to your practices, want to talk to you before and after, want to hang around at the practice and shoot video. You got to meet with boosters, and there's, fundraising events. And during the holidays as a coach, not that these are bad things, by the way. You turkey drop-off for people who, for maybe once in their lives would like to have a nice Thanksgiving, or working a soup kitchen during the holiday. These are all great things, but these are all of the things that are now expected of today's head coach. You're not just doing X's and O's. You are the face of the program. And you're expected to be at everything all the time. And then, oh, by the way, coach your basketball team and run practices and travel around the country. And I was told by somebody who will remain nameless that it's these other things outside of the basketball that are really wearing thin on Mitch Bonagero. He has admitted that it's stressful and exhausting. And those are the things that don't pertain to basketball. The basketball it's exhausting enough. So what's sad is, and I think we all know, that there is a heck of a chance that after the season is over, that will do it for Mitch as the head coach at Siena. And I am telling you, again, this isn't shock jock radio, guy. Some of you might be upset with that. We want somebody with a take. It's not who I am. Does it bother me to see that Mitch is going through this? Does it bother me to, in my heart, probably know that he won't be back next year? You betcha. And I have no regrets with saying that. But what makes me feel good is that I know this. If he's let go by Siena, I can guarantee you he might be unemployed for a week, maybe. And that's worst case scenario. I can tell you right now, the second it happens, if it does, don't be surprised to see him with Fran McCaffrey once again out in Iowa on his staff. Or any staff. Again, talking to assistant coaches and head coaches about Mitch. This guy, if he's not your head coach, you want him on your staff. Long story short. Great basketball mind. But, it's sad, and I'm just going to, reading the blogs and going to the games and listening to the people, ditch Mitch and all this other stuff. It's just, but it's what you sign up for when you're a head coach, so it is what it is. But with the season winding down, it is truly sad to know that these could be the last few games for Mitch Montagaro, and I will not apologize for saying, not just as a head coach, but as an assistant coach, his time here in the Capital Region, it was great to have known Mitch. And again, if this is, the next month, if this is it, I think a lot of us who had the opportunity to meet Mitch and know Mitch, honestly, forget the basketball. Yeah, I think you were a better person to have met him. Great guy. But, is he the best option for Siena? Maybe not. Maybe not. But it still doesn't change the fact that, for me, it'll be sad to see him go. Maybe the best decision. Probably the best decision. But it doesn't make it any less sad. But 6-20, best they could do is if they win out their last 5 games, is finish 11-20. And, outside of a miracle in the MAC tournament, they would have to obviously win the conference championship tournament to get in the NCAAs. I don't even know if they, the way they've been playing this year, who knows? I wouldn't be shocked if they won the play-in game. I wouldn't be shocked if they lost. So anyways, take a quick break. Joe Show on 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. When we come back, we will talk about Albany. They've actually had a pretty successful season. They're in a 2-way tie for 4th place in the America East. Joining us will be head coach Will Brown. Stick around.